So this is a problem that I haven't spoken about before on the 12-volt system in caravans, particularly on the Swift. It may well be because they have the Swift command and they've got the ECU unit in there, which has got all the printed circuit boards and over voltage protection built into it. Now, what tends to happen is a customer will phone up and sometimes they'll say that their caravan's lights are flashing or they're kicking in and out for quite quickly, or they'll say they've lost 12 volt completely and they can't get anything to work at all. Now that tends to be an over voltage problem, especially if you've got a solar panel. So the first thing I ask is, have you got a solar panel? Generally the reply is that they have, and so I ask the customer to go to the solar panel, find the end of the solar panel, which is normally tucked behind the microwave. Sometimes, like with this caravan I'm in here, which I'll show you in a second, I had to take the microwave out. There's two little screws, pull the microwave out, and then you can see where the connections are. With some of them you can actually kind of fish them out and get to the end of the control unit where they plug in. So then if you can get to one of those, disconnect it. That takes the regulator out of the scenario, and then the voltage can then drop back down to a normal level. I think the voltage peak is around about 16 volts, and then the system will go, oh, we've got too much voltage, and then it shuts itself down. And as soon as you disconnect the solar panel, it tends to kick back in again. And that's what happened yesterday. As soon as I disconnected it, the system kicked back in again because it's back down to 12.7 with the normal caravan battery voltage, and everything was working fine. Now I don't think it can happen with the 240 charger. The manufacturers of the chargers say that they can't overcharge. I've certainly seen that happen where it's cooked batteries, but I haven't seen it where it's been the fault of the charger when you plugged into 240 where it gives over voltage. So I don't think I've seen that before. You may well have seen that. If so, put it in the comments. It'd be interesting to know. But it's generally the problem with the regulator that's on the solar. It deregulates, and then you get the voltage, which is around about 20 volts. Coming from the solar panel, it will go through the transformer regulator, come out the other side at around about 14 volts, and then that will charge the battery up, which is fine. And I'll show you how to test that in a second. But yeah, if the regulator fails and it kind of pushes it up to 16 and above volts, then the system will say, no, I don't like that, and it will shut down. So the first thing to do, if you are in that situation right now and you haven't got your voltage, then so your 12 volt in the caravan, and you have got a solar regulator, go to that solar regulator, disconnect it either from the top or from the bottom, so you got the power coming in from the solar panel or the power going out. It doesn't matter which one you get to, and then hopefully that will solve the problem on the short term, and then all you need to do is replace your regulator. And I do know that Sargent have replaced the white ones that they used to use with a smaller regulator, and we have seen a fair few problems with those big white regulators that they've got in the Swift caravans. And so, but I'm not I don't think I've had it with Bailey's or anything else before, but obviously they don't use a Sargent kit, so they may well be a bit more robust than the Sargent ones are. But I haven't had any problems once we've replaced it with a smaller little unit. I think you can buy those off the Sargent website for around about £50, and then you can just kind of click them in and stick them to the wall, and that will do the job. So it's a fairly easy DIY job. You don't have to really do, there isn't anything complicated that you need to do to it. So that's just hopefully a quick fix. So if you are looking at this video, you haven't got 12 volts and everything's dead, and you're kind of wondering why, because you're plugged in and everything's okay, it could be over voltage, and the system's just trying to protect all the appliances in here and all the printed circuit boards by saying, no, I've got too much voltage, and it shuts itself down. Disconnect it and it should kick back in again. Hopefully that will solve the problem. So this is how you test to see what voltage is coming out of your solar panel and your regulator. If you have got a solar panel fitted, you will have a regulator in a cupboard somewhere, normally next to the microwave, high up somewhere. This is the Sargent one, and this is the white type, which they've now superseded with the little blue thing that they send out. You can see the lights flashing, saying that the panel feed is good, and that the feed out to the battery is also good. You can get to the point where there's not much voltage coming out of the solar panel, and those lights won't actually work, but it will still keep charging the battery up. So that's where the solar regulator is. Now you can see the wires going out through the top, and this one you couldn't actually fish them out. Some you can, this one you can't. So I did have to take the microwave out to be able to get to the wires behind it. With the microwave removed, we can clearly see the wires coming down from the solar panel. That's the one that goes to there. And then this one is the one that goes off to the battery. So it's quite a good idea to test these just to see what's going on every now and again. And to do that, disconnect the wire coming from the solar panel. So unclick those and pull it out. And then if you get a multimeter and then put them in there like that and in there like that, it gives you the voltage that's coming out of the solar panel. So it's 19.9. It can go up to 21 depending on whether the sun's shining and you know, what's going on outside. It's also a good idea to clean the solar panels fairly regularly because they don't like being covered in green stuff, and you'll get more efficiency out of them then. So that's the voltage coming out of the solar panel and then going off into the regulator. You've got 20 volts there, and obviously you don't want 20 volts going into the system. So if you put that back in like that and then disconnect the other one, that is then coming through the regulator and then out the other side, and then you've got plus and minus there. Okay, and you've got 14.8 volts, something like that. Okay, which is okay for the charging system. Okay, but if that does fail and it creeps up to 16, 17 volts, then that's when the system won't like it. So 14.8, 14.9, that's fine. Reconnect that like that, and then that will go down to the battery and keep your battery nice and topped up. Now this video has been informative for you. Click like, subscribe, all the things you need to do. And for more information on touring caravans, check out My Ideal Caravan. There's lots of information on there of how to buy caravans and what to look for when you're buying them. And basically all my knowledge is in that course. So have a look at that and sign up to that. And I'll see you in the next video.